Shout out to Jeff Campbell.
What's with this Jeff Campbell?
Matt, do you know what GHive is? Have you heard about GHive?
I did. I noticed a little bit about it during the Force the Vote stuff. Yeah, it was the first time I heard of the Jeff guy.
Jeff literally has called me a clown and a grifter.
Jeff Campbell is a friend of mine.
Hashtag GHive. What the fuck is a GHive?
Nothing but a G. Someone you guys may know of if you've ever been in these lefty spaces on Twitter, Jeff Campbell. You may know about the fabled GHive.
Jeff has this weird habit of calling us like goofy teenagers, and it's like, if you think we're goofy teenagers, why do you tweet about us all fucking day?
Jeff is a key figure in all of this drama.
What the fuck is GHive?
Oh, he is such a phony. He's probably a paid off.
He's a dick!
We've had enough. So fuck Jeff Campbell.
Interview Jeff, and you will be rewarded for it. Like, if we wanted to grow the audience in a way that was less scrupulous and less principled, we would just have people like Jeff on all the time.
That's called the podcast GHive.
Can you hear me, G?
G. Yes, I can hear you.
All right, man, brother. Perfect. Hey, guys, how you doing? It's my man, Jeff Campbell, man. He's a big-time Tim Canova supporter.
Do you think Trump would be frightened of a Tulsi Gabbard candidacy?
Бывший член Палаты представителей США Tulsi Gabbard советует Зеленскому сесть за стол переговоров и согласиться на условия российской стороны.
I do think Tulsi Gabbard is the one candidate in the Democratic field who could defeat Donald Trump.
Now, here's something you are not going to hear on the mainstream media. What you do hear is warmongers arguing that we must protect Ukraine because it is a quote-unquote democracy. But they're lying. Ukraine isn't actually a democracy.
While she has opposed Donald Trump, she hasn't done it in a way that I think would turn off a lot of Trump voters, independent voters, whereas Bernie Sanders has run a somewhat more negative campaign, I believe, than he did in 2016 by calling Donald Trump a racist and a misogynist and the most corrupt politician ever. It has a way of vilifying him, of deterring any kind of real discussion about Trump's actual policies. I think he's much stronger when he's more positive and tries to be a unifying figure. And I do think Tulsi Gabbard has done a good job of that.
Jim Canova, thank you.
Thank you.
It's my man, Jeff Campbell, man. He's a big-time Tim Canova supporter. So give it up for my man, Jeff.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Who are you supporting, by the way, between Donald Trump and Joe Biden?
So there's no way that I could vote for Joe Biden. I do still consider myself progressive. Donald Trump's the progressive, not Joe Biden.
Full disclosure, I met Jeff as Miami Gator on Twitter when he was fighting hard for Tim Canova, right?
Donald Trump is certainly the progressive in the race right now, and people don't want to hear that. Well, I should say Democrats don't want to hear that.
Is Tim Canova going to kick Debbie Wasserman's ass this time? Is he going to run again? Tell me something, Jeff. I need it in my life.
I cannot speak for Tim.
I like what I see with Donald Trump.
But that's what we all want to happen.
If I do vote, it would probably be for Donald Trump. And I say if I do vote because our experience over the past 4 years is that Broward County has been rigging the votes.
They rigged an election. They rigged it like they've never rigged an election before.
The Democratic message now is Donald Trump. That's the message. Donald Trump is a monster.
The media is the biggest problem we have as far as I'm concerned. Single biggest problem.
The media, we have to take the media to task.
The fake news and the big tech.
That's one of the things about Trump. Like, I don't like Trump, man, but sometimes he calls it out right. What other politicians are calling out the media who are in bed with politicians that just so happen to be neoliberals? No one. You know, like, we got no one doing that, you know? Like,
Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Julian Assange told me that she was able to just call the Morning Joe TV program and call up Chuck Todd on Meet the Press. And, I mean, what is the media power of Debbie Wasserman Schultz?
A corporate-dominated media, it's not surprising they would be supportive of Wasserman Schultz. We've got good reason to believe we defeated her once and maybe a second time in 2018. It's just such a very rigged system.
They rigged an election. They rigged it like they've never rigged an election before.
It deters folks like me from jumping in and running again. So right now I'm chairing a group called Progress for All.
If you go to Tim Canova's progressforall.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and yours, Tim Canova. Give it up for Tim.
Thank you.
Peter Hager, one of the members of your team.
Progressives and libertarians have a lot more in common than they don't.
Yeah.
Give it up for Peter.
Thank you.
Of course, Jeff Campbell.
Jeff Campbell is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Miami Gator, Jeff Miami out there as well on Twitter. These guys are always keeping me up to date what's happening. Now,
these guys are fantastic. I just want to, second your emotion there. Peter Hager and Jeff Campbell.
Oh, the GOP is fascist. It's like, no.
With friends like that, it's so helpful.
It's been amazing what's coming out on WikiLeaks.
What about you, Jeff? What do you think about WikiLeaks?
Honestly, I spent morning after morning combing those WikiLeaks. I do appreciate what Assange, this guy lived in a room, not getting sunlight. I'm sure he's not getting proper health care, fearing for his life. It wasn't a picnic.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Of course, Julian Assange of WikiLeaks told me about some pretty bad allegations against her back when the 2016 election was going on.
This WikiLeaks is like a treasure trove.
WikiLeaks revealed that
WikiLeaks, I love WikiLeaks.
Trump was one of the Pied Piper candidates.
Oh, we love WikiLeaks.
That the DNC and their friends at MSNBC.
They want to distract us from WikiLeaks.
We're all going to promote because, of course, Trump was the wonder of WikiLeaks. The one Republican they thought Hillary would beat.
What that WikiLeaks has done a job on her, hasn't it?
Wiki.
What about you, Jeff? What do you think about WikiLeaks?
Honestly, I spent morning after morning combing those WikiLeaks.
See, one of the things I love about Tim Canova, guys, is that
WikiLeaks.
How many other politicians do you hear
WikiLeaks
who would even bring up WikiLeaks?
Well,
notice, no, hold up, Tim. I want to give you props, man, because notice how I didn't have to introduce that at all. That's just Tim being Tim. So, guys, let's give it up for that. I talked to a lot of polls, and they don't typically do that. I kicked myself because I felt like if everyone knew Tim Canova much earlier, like we would have done even more damage. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Donald Trump is certainly the progressive in the race right now, and people don't want to hear that.
So this is Joanne Reed with a body language expert.
Bernie Sanders does have a sort of physicality when he talks that is a shaking your
Pause
fingers.
it. Anti-Semitism. Like legit.
This is the caricature that I think a lot of people have been saying this sort of rhetoric invokes.
Yes. All right, I won't pause it again. I just did want to say, like, that is actually kind of problematic.
You look at Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Bernie Sanders does have a sort of physicality.
She was shook last night. You should have seen her twitching.
That is a shaking your finger at Hillary Clinton.
Yes. Touching her jacket. I hope she's watching.
Shaking your finger, shovey, weirdy.
Keep touching your jacket like this. Keeps pulling at her jacket.
Trying to keep the horns down. Like trying to keep the horns from showing. Trying to keep the horns from showing.
Pause it. Anti-Semitism. Like legit.
Trying to keep the horns down. Like trying to keep the horns from showing.
Anyways, it's worth knowing.
This is the caricature that I think a lot of people have been saying this sort of rhetoric invokes.
Yes. Yes. All right, I won't pause it again. I just did want to say, like, that is actually kind of problematic.
Trying to keep the horns from showing.
No, the lies. She's trying to keep the lies in.
Pushing the lies down.
I think Bernie's lying.
We know your tell when you're lying.
We see him, he slouches forward anyway, Joy.
You should have seen her twitching.
Chubby, weirdy.
Here he turtles. If you look at his eye level where he normally answers questions.
Touching her jacket.
When he makes the denial, his whole shoulders come up like a little kid getting caught.
Pushing the lies down.
His eye level is below his shoulders.
She was shook last night, twitching.
This is trying to hide in plain sight.
We know your tell when you're lying.
I think Bernie's lying.
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 You're lying.